Hello, BBN. Have you hit the subscribe button yet? That way, you'll get more updates from Kentucky. The recent news of Jasper Johnson's friendship with Tay Kinney has brought an intriguing development to Kentucky basketball, carrying future implications that could directly benefit Mark Pope's program. The relationship between Johnson, already committed to the Wildcats, and Kinney, a standout prospect from the class of 2026, has strengthened after both were selected to play together in the Overtime Elite League. This partnership can be viewed as a sign that Kentucky's recruiting is moving in the right direction, particularly in an increasingly competitive college basketball landscape. On Tuesday, Overtime Elite held its annual draft for the 2024-25 season, an event that marked the union of these two Kentucky promises on the same team. Tay Kinney, a point guard from the class of 2026, was selected as the first overall pick by the Rod Wave Elite, RWE. Rated as a four-star recruit, Kinney holds the 27th position nationally according to the 247 Sports Composite. He recently visited Lexington, where he received a direct offer from Coach Mark Pope and his staff, demonstrating how highly Kentucky values this local talent. Later in the draft, Jasper Johnson, one of the rising stars in high school basketball, was chosen in the 6th round, also by the RWE, sealing the union of the two athletes on the same team. Johnson, a five-star point guard, has shown his commitment to the Wildcats and has been actively serving as an informal recruiter for the team. One of his main goals is to persuade players like Caleb Wilson, a five-star power forward from the class of 2025, to follow in his footsteps and commit to Kentucky. With Johnson and Kinney now teammates, expectations naturally soar not only for the duo's success in the Overtime Elite, but also for the impact this partnership could have on the future recruiting for the Wildcats. Johnson, already committed to Kentucky, sees this opportunity as a strategic move to continue strengthening ties with Kinney and, possibly, to persuade him to join Mark Pope's program. During an interview on the Sources Say podcast, Johnson expressed his excitement about the partnership, noting that the idea of playing together had been discussed earlier. "I like the team. Talon and I were talking about it this summer when he committed to the extension, talking about forming a team and stuff like that," Johnson said. Now, with both ready to take the court as teammates, there is growing optimism about what this duo can achieve, both in the short term with Overtime Elite and, possibly, in Lexington in the coming years. Kinney, for his part, seems to be increasingly on Kentucky's radar. After his visit to Lexington, it became clear that the Wildcats view him as a key piece for the class of 2026. The potential for Johnson to exert a direct influence on his teammate in the OTE only boosts hopes that Kinney might eventually don the Kentucky uniform, adding yet another local talent to the roster. This development is particularly significant in a context where Mark Pope and his coaching staff are focused on maintaining a successful recruiting pace. Foundations are being laid with elite talent, and the addition of players like Johnson and potentially Kinney reinforces the long-term vision of the program. The path there, however, will be shaped not only by offers and promises made during visits, but also by the personal and professional bonds that players like Johnson and Kinney build throughout the season in the OTE. The on-court partnership between Johnson and Kinney not only creates a chemistry that could be crucial for the future, but also opens a range of possibilities for Kentucky in the recruiting landscape. With Johnson already committed and Kinney emerging as a priority, there is an expectation that both can form a successful duo, both in the OTE and possibly in Lexington. "Definitely works in our best interest to form a team," Johnson said, acknowledging the importance of this connection for the future. Now, with the Overtime Elite season about to kick off, the eyes of many in college basketball, especially those of Kentucky, will be keen to see how this partnership evolves. If Johnson can play his role both on the court and as an effective recruiter, the impact could be profound for the future of the program. Under the leadership of Mark Pope, the Wildcats are positioning themselves to ensure that talents like Jasper Johnson and, possibly, Tay Kinney are part of the next great cycle of achievements in Lexington. Let the game continue. Coach Mark Pope, who recently took over the reins of the Kentucky Wildcats following John Calipari's departure to the Arkansas Razorbacks, is already shaping the team's future with a modern and dynamic approach. Pope quickly won the fanbase's trust by securing key commitments, such as from young star Travis Perry, and by attracting talented transfers, including Andrew Carr from Wake Forest. Pope has shared his excitement about what his players have shown during practices, especially regarding their long-range shooting prowess. In a recent interview with Kentucky Sports Radio, Pope praised Andrew Carr, a player who stood out over the summer and demonstrated remarkable shooting accuracy. Carr, a transfer from Wake Forest, appears ready to become a crucial element in Pope's strategy. According to the coach, Carr went 5 consecutive training days without missing a single field goal. This consistency in a competitive environment caught the attention of the entire coaching staff, who are now looking for ways to further integrate the player into the Wildcats' offensive scheme. Pope did not hesitate to highlight this feat, mentioning it was an impressive streak and something he seldom sees. Pope's confidence in Carr reflects one of his core philosophies, which is to make Kentucky a lethal long-shooting team. This modern focus on perimeter play represents a shift from the style the program had under Calipari, which was more known for physical play in the paint. Carr, with his accuracy, provides the necessary flexibility to open up spaces on the court and allow the team to be more offensively unpredictable. However, Andrew Carr wasn't the only one to receive praise from Pope. The coach also mentioned Travis Perry, one of the most promising young talents in Kentucky high school basketball. Perry, who had committed to the Wildcats before Pope's arrival, demonstrated over the summer that he is what it takes to shine at the collegiate level. The coach was impressed with Perry's consistency at free throws, noting that the young player made 100 out of 100 over 3 consecutive training days, a rare achievement at any level of basketball. Pope, with a tone of surprise and admiration, emphasized that he had never witnessed such a feat, especially from a player who is yet to make his official college basketball debut. Perry's free throw proficiency shows a technical control that can be decisive in high-pressure situations. In a league where the margin for error is often minimal, having a reliable player at the free throw line can make the difference between a narrow victory and a frustrating loss. Pope recognizes this importance and already positions Perry as a crucial weapon in his lineup. The shooting skills of Perry and Carr are attracting attention, not just from Coach Pope but also from experts. Jimmy Dykes, an ESPN commentator, expressed his enthusiasm on social media, highlighting that Kentucky could be one of the most dangerous long-distance shooting teams next season. For Dykes, the combination of talents like Perry and Carr raises expectations for what the Wildcats can achieve under Pope's leadership. This external confidence reinforces the work that the coach has been doing to adapt the team to a more modern style, aligned with current basketball trends. Pope's success in revitalizing Kentucky depends not only on his ability to recruit great talents, but also on developing these players so they can make an immediate impact on the court. With Andrew Carr and Travis Perry, Pope seems to have 2 players who not only possess exceptional technical skills, but also the right mindset to thrive in the offensive system he seeks to implement. Let's go forward. Brandon Garrison, now part of the Kentucky Wildcats roster, arrives with expectations of being one of the team's most intriguing players under the leadership of Mark Pope. The center, who transferred after a freshman season at Oklahoma State, was quickly dubbed a sleeper to watch for the 2024-25 season. This designation, given by Jace Derryberry of Sports Illustrated, reflects the hidden potential Garrison could bring to the court, and his transition to Kentucky basketball might unlock a talent that has yet to be fully explored. Last season, Garrison averaged a modest 7.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks over 22.7 minutes per game at Oklahoma State. While these numbers might seem unassuming to some, they represent the foundation of a player who, with the right development, could emerge as a key piece for the Wildcats. Pope and his coaching staff have a track record of maximizing the potential of underestimated players, and Garrison is expected to be no exception. The coach sees in the 6 feet 10 inches center an athlete who can significantly contribute both offensively and defensively, offering versatility in various areas of the game. Derryberry, analyzing Garrison's offensive capabilities, highlighted the young center's ability to roll well and make quick decisions after setting screens. In an offensive scheme that values fluidity and constant movement, this trait becomes critical for the success of a center like Garrison. He has the ability to process the game quickly, a rare skill for players of his position and age, allowing him to keep the court spaced and facilitate plays for his teammates. This game insight is often a differentiator between bigs who succeed at the collegiate level and those who advance to the next level, something Garrison seems to be mastering. Garrison's ability to play off the ball and serve as a finisher in the offense could be extremely beneficial for Kentucky, which seeks to integrate a more modern style under Pope. The coach has already shown his preference for an offensive approach that values ball movement and space creation, and Garrison, with his timing and quick decision-making, fits perfectly into this scheme. While he still needs to develop some aspects of his offensive game, particularly in terms of strength and aggression in the paint, the fundamentals are there for him to become an important piece in the rotation. Defensively, Garrison also offers promising attributes. Though not an elite vertical athlete, his lateral agility is a strength. He displayed impressive flashes in his freshman season by effectively guarding screens and quickly recovering to the rim. This ability to move laterally and position himself correctly puts him at an advantage to challenge opponents. According to Derryberry, even when not blocking shots, Garrison is a rim deterrent, forcing attackers to rethink their decisions. For Pope, who values solid and efficient defense, Garrison's defensive traits are an asset that can be honed to face the best offenses in college basketball. As Derryberry mentioned, there are areas where Garrison still needs to evolve, such as challenging shots more consistently and avoiding foul trouble. This adjustment will be crucial for him to maximize his impact on both sides of the court. Garrison's work with Kentucky's coaching staff, which has demonstrated a history of developing great defensive talents, could be precisely what he needs to refine his rim protection skills and become a dominant presence on the team. Garrison's development at Kentucky isn't just about improving his stats, but about leveraging his vast potential in a way that makes him an essential player for the Wildcats in the long run. Mark Pope certainly has a plan in mind to utilize Garrison as efficiently as possible. The expectation is that, with a season of adjustments and improvements, Garrison could become a defensive pillar and a reliable option on offense. With Garrison entering his second season in college basketball, the Wildcats have in their hands a promising talent who can contribute both immediately and over a more extended horizon. If he continues to work hard and adjust his game, it might not be long before Garrison is recognized as one of the most impactful transfers of the season. Let the game continue. Kentucky basketball is undergoing a significant transformation with the arrival of Mark Pope as head coach, bringing a new offensive philosophy that promises to shake up Lexington. Unlike previous seasons, Pope's focus is clearly on spacing the court and giving players the freedom to fully exploit their shooting abilities. For the Wildcats, this means plenty of open shot opportunities and a marked emphasis on three-point shooting, which has been widely discussed and celebrated by both the coaching staff and fans. The adaptation to the modern style of play that Pope is implementing is evident. The coach not only wants his players to act quickly and fearlessly, but also to take risks, especially in shooting situations. During an interview with KSR in May, assistant coach Cody Fuger was straightforward in stating that Pope's offensive system does not tolerate rejecting good shots. In his words, if you turn down an open shot, you're heading to the bench. This mentality reflects a desire to maximize every offensive opportunity, giving players the freedom to play with instinct and confidence. This approach to fast and dynamic attacking aligns with the trends of modern basketball, where long-range shooting has become a staple. Kentucky, with the roster assembled for this season, is perfectly positioned to take advantage of this. Players like Kobe Brea, Travis Perry, Andrew Carr, and Kirk Risa are known not just for their shooting ability, but also for their playmaking skills, making them essential for the success of Pope's system. The ability to blend shooters with versatile playmakers creates a diversified offensive threat, something that can pose a lot of problems for opponents throughout the season. A central point of this new philosophy is the spacing of the court, something that Pope has emphasized from the beginning. By spreading out the opposing defense, the Wildcats will have more chances to find players open for three-point shots, increasing the opportunities for easy baskets. This attack strategy, based on fast ball movement and constant rotation, is what will allow the team to fully exploit its offensive weapons. The presence of big men like Amari Williams, who can distribute the ball effectively, is crucial in this aspect. Williams was described by Pope as one of the special passers in college basketball, highlighting his ability to make quick reads and decisions that create space for shooters. The signing of Amari Williams with the Wildcats was met with great enthusiasm by Pope, who sees him as a player capable of transforming Kentucky's attack. With a center who not only protects the rim, but also has the vision and ability to pass to shooters in good positions, the team becomes unpredictable and difficult to guard. The fast transition game, combined with the spacing ability provided by Williams and others, will allow Kentucky to maintain constant pressure on opponents. Furthermore, Coach Pope has made it clear that three-point shooting will be one of the identities of this new era for the Wildcats. With Fuger noting that the team intends to average 35 three-point attempts per game, it's evident that Kentucky is positioning itself to be one of the most dangerous long-distance teams this season. The high number of three-point attempts is not just a statistic, but a central philosophy that Pope is implementing in Lexington. The emphasis on long-distance shooting is accompanied by an expectation of precision and confidence, with players having the freedom to shoot without hesitation whenever an opportunity presents itself. This shift in approach represents a departure from the more traditional style seen under John Calipari, which was mainly focused on more physical attacks and frequent use of play inside the paint. With Pope, Kentucky's gameplay is adapting to modern basketball trends, which value the perimeter, quick shots, and smart spacing. The coach not only recognizes this evolution in the game, but also embraces it, making Kentucky fully enter the era of three-point shooting. What also stands out in Pope's offensive scheme is the confidence placed in his players. By allowing them to play freely and without fear of making mistakes, the coach is creating an environment where individual skills can flourish. The emphasis on giving players the freedom to play with their instincts is a clear indication that Pope does not want to restrict the offensive talent of his team. This creates an atmosphere where each player feels valued and encouraged to contribute to the team. What do you think? Comment below.